Hi, boys and girls. Today we're doing Chapter 10, Lesson 4, Problem Solving, Draw a Picture. My learning intention is that I am learning strategies for problem solving so that I can feel more confident figuring out real-life problems. And that is really what math is all about, is figuring out real-life problems. So let's take a look at the pages that we're doing today. I'm going to be doing all three of these pages with you, so just hang in there and we'll get through them all. We have pages 587, 588, and 589. So let's get started with page 587. Make this nice and big so we have less distractions on the screen and so that you can see it well. So we're going to learn this strategy of drawing a picture. Anessa and a classmate have 8 insects in a jar. Let me go a little bigger here. There we go. 4/8 of the insects are beetles. 1 is a firefly, and the rest are crickets. What fraction of the insects are crickets? So I like the cartoon here. Turn off that light. I'm trying to sleep. Maybe we should make him a little blindfold. Let's do that. Because, you have those little shade things that you wear on your eyes. So let's make him a little blindfold. There, now he doesn't have to complain about the extra light in the room. He has that little sleep mask on, and he's just gonna, here, we'll do it this way so it doesn't look like we poked his eyes out. There we go. He's got a sleep mask on, so he's fine. The other guys don't seem bothered by the light. I can sleep with lights on, TV on, all kinds of things, and I sleep like a rock. Not my husband. That would be my husband. Turn off that light. I'm trying to sleep. Okay, moving right along. So let's look at the facts that we know about this word problem. There are 8 insects. 1 is a firefly. When I was a little girl, I used to catch fireflies in a jar. And you run around with the jars chasing each other in the darkness. Okay, 4/8 of the insects are beetles. I think it's interesting in the video, it says 1/2, 4/8 and 1/2 are the same thing. I just think it's weird they give you this hard of a fraction before, this early in learning fractions. The rest are crickets. So our question is, let's see, what do you need to find out? The fraction of insects that are crickets. That's what our question asks. Let me highlight it so it looks different from our facts. Make it a little thicker because my letters are big. So my question is, what fraction of the insects are crickets? So that's what we need to know. Okay, so a plan. I will draw a diagram to solve the problem. So I'm going to draw a figure that is divided into 8 equal parts. I'm going to shade 4 out of 8 of the figure for the beetles and label it with B. So 4 out of 8. Here are my 8 boxes in my array that represent the beetles, or that represent the insects. 4/8 of them are beetles. So if I have 8 equal parts and 4 of them are beetles, they're colored in yellow, they ask me to mark it with a B, kind of like pat a cake, pat a cake, pat a cake. Baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can, roll it, pat it, mark it with a what? A B. There we go. Okay, so we shaded 4/8 of the figure for the beetles and labeled them with B. We're going to shade 1 part for the firefly, which they did for us, and we're going to label it with F for firefly. Okay, so what of the insects are crickets? Well, if the rest are crickets, I can mark these with a C. And so I have 3 out of 8 parts are crickets. So 3/8 of the insects are crickets. Does your answer make sense? Well, it should equal 8 altogether. So if I have 4 beetles and 1 firefly, 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. So that would make sense because that accounts for all 8. So does your answer make sense? Explain. Remember the word explain, we want to say comma because. Does your answer make sense? Yes. That's a yes or no question. Comma because. 4 plus 1 plus 3 equals 8 insects. Period, because it's a sentence, complete sentence. All right, let's go on to the next page. Whoops, I'm tripping over wires here. Okay, let's go on to the second page. This one, we have a lot of work to do on this one. They didn't help us as much. So we're going to practice the strategy. Cute little doggy, cute little kitty with a bird. 6 students brought their pets to school on pet day. 3 of the pets were dogs and 1/6 were cats. The rest of the pets were birds. What fraction of the pets were birds? So what facts do we know? So let's take a look. So we know that there were 6 students. Okay, and 3 of the pets were dogs. So 3 dogs. 1/6 were cats. 1 out of 6 were cats. And the rest of the pets were birds. The rest are birds. Okay, it's not a complete sentence, just a list. So I'm not going to put a period, and I didn't start it with a capital. Okay, so let's scroll up. What do you need to find? Well, it wants to know what fraction of the pets were birds. So let me, before I scroll up here, let me highlight. So what I need to know is what fraction of the pets were birds. So I'm going, oops, I need to scroll down first before I pick a pen. So what do I need to know? The fraction of the pets that were birds. The fraction of the pets that are birds. This is not a complete sentence, so I actually don't need a capital letter, and I don't need a period. So let me erase this capital T and make it lowercase. Okay, so here's my plan. I'm going to draw a diagram because that's what we're learning to do. Ooh, messy writing. Draw a diagram is sort of a complete sentence. It's like a command, so I will take that. Okay, so now I'm going to solve it. I'm going to make this a little smaller. It's going to bring in our other pages, but I need to be able to see my numbers. So I'm going to solve it by drawing an array, basically. I have 6 students, so every student brought a pet. So I'm going to draw an array with 6 parts in it. Okay. So 6 is an even number, so I can divide in half. Okay, but if I go in half again, I'm going to have 4, so it's going to mess me up. So what I'm going to do is 2 times 3 equals 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each side into thirds. So I'm going to go to the middle of my left square, and then I'm going to go over to the left just a little bit. So I'm not in the middle, I'm off to the left just a little bit. Now I'm going to go back to my middle and go to the right just a little bit. Now it's in thirds. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the same thing in this box here. I'm going to point at the middle. I'm not drawing a line. And I'm going to go a little to the left, go back to my middle, and go a little to the right. Now let me just make a dot where I was looking, okay? So here is about the middle between these two lines, and about here was the middle. So I went a little to the left, little to the right, and drew my lines. So now I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So make sure that you have 6 parts and try to make them equal if you can, because we got to learn how to do that. Okay, so 3 of them were dogs. So I'm going to put a D in each space for dogs. Dog, dog, dog. Now, 1 out of 6 were cats. Well, if there's 6 equal parts, 1 of them is cats. I can put cat in 1. The rest are birds. So I can fill in the rest with the B for birds. Okay, so now I know how many birds I have. So I have 2 birds. So does your answer make sense? Let me write 2 birds on here too. They didn't really give us a place to write our answer. So 2 birds. Okay, does your answer make sense? Well, 3 plus 1 plus 2 equals 6. So since I have to explain, I'm going to write my answer, yes, yes, comma, because that is an S. Oh, wow, that just like got rid of all of it. Yes, there we go. Comma, because 3 plus 1 plus 2 equals 6 pets. Okay. All right, let's go on to the third and final page. Make it nice and big, get the extra distraction out of there. Also gives us more room to write, or at least it gives me more room to write. Okay, so we're going to solve each problem by drawing a diagram. So Allie is playing jacks. She tosses 8 jacks on the floor. She bounces the ball and picks up 5 jacks before the ball drops. What fraction of the jacks did Allie not pick up? So let's look at what we know first of all. Okay, so I'm going to mark up my word problem. She's playing jacks. She tosses 8 jacks on the floor. So that's her total. She bounces the ball and picks up 5 jacks. So she picks up 5 jacks before the ball drops. Now, what I need to know is how many did she not, pick up? This is important, and I've warned you guys before that you'll get a lot of these, especially on that state test, because they want to make sure you're really paying attention to those word problems and that you really know what you're doing. So don't just go, oh, 8 and 5 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so 8 jacks. So I'm going to draw a picture of 8 jacks. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, I stayed with yellow, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here are my jacks. They look kind of like X's. So that's why I chose X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, she picked up 5 jacks. So if we're picking up, that means we are taking them away. So I'm going to circle the ones that she picked up when she bounced the ball. So it's like bouncing the ball. So she picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how many did she not pick up? She did not pick up 3 out of 8. Okay, she did not pick up 3 out of 8 of the jacks. So let's see if that makes sense. She tossed 8 jacks. She picked up 5. 8 minus 5. Here's my checking. 8 minus 5 equals 3. 3 that she did not pick up. Okay, you can do this in your workspace or here in this space, depending on how much room you need to write. Okay, so let's scroll down to number 2. Of the houses on the block, 2 are brick and 1 is wood. What fraction of the houses is neither wood nor brick? So what do I know? I know that there are 4 houses. I know 2 are brick and 1 is wood. Then I need to know What fraction of the houses is neither, oh, goodness, one of these days I'll remember to switch to highlighter. Okay, so which of the houses is neither, goodness, I thought I picked my highlighter. Come on, highlighter, yellow. Okay, is neither wood nor brick. It's not any of those, something else. Okay, so let's go back to our pen, which is being very stubborn. Okay, so I have 4 houses. I'm going to draw it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 2 are brick. So I'm going to write B for brick. And 1 is wood, W for wood. This one, we don't know what it's made out of. Maybe it's stucco, okay? Or it might be a house made out of sticks. Could be the second pig's house, or it could be made out of straw, the first pig's house. We don't know. So, oh no, sticks would be wood. So it's the little pig's houses. And so this one's made out of straw. So how many are neither wood nor brick? 1. 1 out of how many? 4. So 1 out of 4 are neither wood nor brick. Let's see if it makes sense. I have 2 plus 1 plus something equals 4. 2 plus 1 is 3, and 1 more is 4, so it has to be right. Okay, let's scroll up. 2 out of the 3 students in the reading club wear glasses. Write the fraction in words to describe the set of students who wear glasses. So let's write it in numbers first. So I've got 2 out of 3 students. Here's student, student, student. Okay, and 2 of them wear glasses. So here's glasses, glasses. All smiling because we're all happy whether we wear glasses or not. And we're going to write the fraction in words. So let's write it first in numbers. So I have 2/3 wear glasses. So now I'm going to write that on my line. 2 hyphen thirds wear glasses. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? Yes, because I have 3 students. 2 are wearing glasses. 2 out of 3 are wearing glasses. Okay. So let's go down to number 4. There are 6 books. 3/6 of the books are Willow's. 1 belongs to Brian. The other books belong to Mrs. Peterson. How many books belong to Mrs. Peterson? Okay, so here we go. Drawing a diagram again. I have 6 books. I'm going to draw an array of 6. Just like I did before, in half. I'm going to eyeball where the half is on each side. And then I'm going to go a little to the left, little to the right, little to the left, little to the right. That's how you divide things into thirds. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so there's 6 books. 3/6 of the books are Willows. So 3 out of 6 are Willows. So I'm going to put a W, 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 because 3 out of the 6 are Willows. 1 belongs to Brian, and the other books belong to Mrs. Peterson. So I'll just fill in the rest of the books. So how many books belong to Mrs. Peterson? So 2/6 belong to Mrs. Peterson. Two out of the 6 books belong to Mrs. Peterson. Okay, let's look at the very last one. Be precise. There are an equal number of student desks in classrooms 3A and 3B. Joel washed 1/2 of the desks in room 3A. Tyrell washed 3/4 of the desks in room 3B. Which boy washed more desks? Explain. Okay, so it does not tell us how many desks are in each room. okay? But we do know the fraction of the desks. So Joel washed 1/2 of the desks. Tyrell washed 3/4 of the desks. So let's make a fraction for each of those. Now, this is tricky because you have to make your fraction bars the same size. So here's how I do it. I draw one rectangle, and then I split it into 2 fraction bars. So the top is going to represent Joel's desks that he washed, and the bottom is going to represent Tyrell's desks that he washed. Now, Joel washed 1/2, so I'm going to put 1/2 here, and Tyrell washed 3/4. So my top fraction bar, I'm going to divide into 2 equal parts. So I'm going to go to the middle and divide it. Now my bottom fraction bar, I'm going to divide into 4 equal parts. So in order to get 4, I need 1/2 first. Then I'm going to divide each half in half. And it's really important that you get those halves the same. So you should just have a line going straight down the middle of both. You don't need to divide the top one because he only did half. So 2 is how many equal parts. All right, so now I'm going to color in how many, whatever the numerator is. And I'm going to start on the left so I can compare them. So Joel washed 1/2 of the desks. So let me use my highlighter. And Joel's desks, 1 out of the 2 he washed. Okay, Tyrell washed 3/4. So I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So when I compare these, I can see that Tyrell's blue part is bigger than Joel's blue part. So Tyrell washed more desks. I have the word explain there, so I need to use comma because. Okay, so Tyrell, is it 1 R or 2 in Tyrell? 1 R. Tyrell washed more desks. We don't know how many, we just know he washed more desks, comma because. And we saw with our picture that 3/4 is greater than, let's use those math words, is greater than 1/2. Okay, so the blue shaded part of the bottom one is 3/4, and that is bigger or greater than 1 out of 2, 1/2. So there you go. That is some problem solving for you using drawing pictures. And hopefully you will use this strategy in many, many word problems to come.